Terrence Howard is a genius. Joe Rogan is a wizard. This is the greatest work, entertainment, piece of fascinating discussion and controversy I've seen in I don't know how long, and I love it. It reminds me of my old pal Gene Ray and the Time Cube. Look that one up. Gene Ray and the Time Cube. I was doing an internet show at the time, and we happened to run into Mr. Ray, and he just would talk about things. He was fantastic. What I would do is I would never say, what? I still, you can look it up. I couldn't tell you exactly what Time Cube was. Now, we lost Gene. Not Gene Rayburn, by the way. It's a match game, but Gene Ray. This was in 2015. But I would always play it straight. I would say, I see. And I would speak to him like what he said made sense. And people went crazy because they said, you can't say that. Why? Well, you can't go on. You can't go on and basically talk about up and down and PM and the time cube and the fourth dimension. You can't do this. And this was then. I said, well, why can't you do that? Well, you just can't. And Terrence Howard, he can't do this because he's a nut. Why is he a nut? Well, excuse me. Why is he not able to speak? Because he's not a scientist. Why do you have to be a scientist? You got to be a scientist. You mean like Neil deGrasse Tyson? You want to go through that one? All these UFO gatekeepers? You want to talk about that? Why? What's the big deal? And you see, the reason for this is, number one, the gatekeepers, the ones who have their eye on what is and isn't acceptable in public conversation. These are the folks who, by the way, hate when anybody has fun, number one. They hate it. Hate it. They hate it. You have no idea. They go berserk that you would be talking about something without their okay, without their approval, without their imprimatur, without their consent. You've got to clear this. Next, we're into this thing about misinformation, malinformation, disinformation, that information, all of this nonsense. Trust the science. Trust the science. Which science? Well, that depends. A lot of folks said some very interesting things scientifically about vaccines or COVID. Wait. We don't mean our science. And there's this thing that people cannot stand about Joe Rogan, is that he's having so much fun. You're not supposed to have fun. You're also supposed to ask for permission. We live in a world of now intellectual and scientific Karens. These not white privileged, but these science privileged people who are, the gatekeepers who say this is okay and this isn't. You cannot say this. There was this wonderful group of folks who are basically seeking now to dispute many aspects of Darwin and Darwinism. Behe and Lennox and Meyer and Berlinski and Galerter and oh my God, you can't do that. This is absolute. Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris and the atheists. How dare you? I love it. I love it because I love to see people squirm, and I love to see people upset, and I love to see people have this realization that they are not in charge. They don't determine what happens. They are not in charge. Let me say this again. Let me see if I can express myself clearly as to this. They are not in charge. Can't say it any other way, any clearer than that. They are not in charge. And what's even more interesting and more fascinating is that nobody's asking them for their opinion. And all I know is Terrence Howard is now going to go, he is the man. And he is being talked about. And it's almost like there is this area that you cannot speak of. And you are unable to do this. You are unable to and this it's not just regarding science and mathematics. It has to do with the whole notion of the official narrative of science, what is and isn't accepted. Intelligent design, Adam and Eve, the Bible, spirituality, God, sexuality, gender, binary, the binary world, male and female, yin and yang, cis and trans, as in isomers, not this lunacy. It's almost as though, and it's not almost, it's exactly, people are saying to you, we control the narrative, not you. And we will not allow certain people to say certain things, and we'll let you know who can say it as we develop the rules. For some reason or another, we never got, there's no consortium. There's no group of people who sat down and said, Terrence Howard cannot say this. He is without the ability, he's without the jurisdiction to say this. No, he didn't do this. They just on their own pretty much said, you know what, we don't prefer this. And again, mark my words, the reason why is because he's having fun. And Joe Rogan is the most important man on the planet in terms of his ability to just opine. And the thing that makes him, and by the way, Lex Friedman, different kind of like A and B side of the same album, so to speak. But what makes Joe in particular so important is that he thoroughly is fascinated by this. He doesn't just sit back and say, He just, wow. He shows wonder. He says, wow, isn't that something? Think about this. Think about how cool this would be. Think about how this would be. Think about the notion of all of it. That's what makes it fascinating. That is why I love this story. That is why it's so important. And it's also critical for you to recognize that there are, again, a self-appointed group of people, gatekeepers and centurions, the people who, the sentries who allow who can pass and who can't. And they love to sit back and say, he's crazy, he's insane, he's stupid. Again, they love it. It's fun because they love to hate the official or the unofficial, or maybe the official American pastime is hating everyone. Hating. It's exactly what we're about. And you know what, Mr. Howard, you keep going. And Joe Rogan, thank you. Thank you for bringing more entertainment to me, because I have thoroughly enjoyed your disquisitions, your just this melange, this potpourri, this myriad, this mosaic of conversations about everything and anything. Lex Friedman, too. Big shout out. Two of my absolute favorites. What do you think, dear friends? What do you think about this? What do you think about somebody daring to question things like gravity, black holes, and mathematics? I beseech, I import you, and I ask you to comment as you see fit. And I also request, very respectfully, that you follow me, subscribe, and hit that like button. You know how the demographics and the algorithms work. All right, dear friends, have a great day, and comment as you see fit.